Good evening, everybody. Hope the connection is all right. Hope you can hear me. Hello, Mr. Naren. Just waiting for a few people to join in. I'll add you soon into the program, Mr. Naren. Just give me a few minutes. I have a few introductory notes to start with. Just waiting for others to join in. Today, in fact, is the World No Tobacco Day, and the theme of this year from the World Health Organization is protecting youth from industry manipulation and preventing them from tobacco and nicotine use. In fact, last week when we spoke to a de-addiction specialist, we were discussing about how children are being influenced by the tobacco industry and how they pour in millions and millions of dollars every single day to keep up the advertisements, to get them hooked on, to project it as though this is one of the best things to use. We must raise our voice against the tobacco industry. And the reason is nearly $27.93 billion are spent every year, and that too for the healthcare expenditure. And these are indirect costs that the person using tobacco has to bear. Welcome, Sunidhi. Hello. Just waiting for a few more people to join in so that we can start the show. I have my guest also waiting in. Today is the 31st of May, and it's the World No Tobacco Day. What better day to speak to somebody who has kicked the habit, who's been there, done that, and who can help us understand how best and what is the best method to quit the habit. We'll speak to him soon. Just waiting in for some more to join in. Please let your friends know. Please let them join in. The reason why people are hooked on is because the tobacco industry makes nearly 11.79 lakh crores every year, and a lot of people are employed by them. Just going to play a small video which is there on Facebook. Thanks to the World Health Organization, they put up this wonderful video telling us about the ill effects of.
I let you in on a secret. You might be able to figure it out on your own, but not everyone.
It's a very
does.
informative video.
Over the years, many have bought into it without even knowing.
Hello, Abhishek. Welcome.
They tell us stories.
I'll soon add you in too.
Time goes by, people change, but it's still
Waiting for some more people to join in now.
story. They might just look different. They even try to make it sound like they have healthier alternatives. They use unseen strategies, but with dark agendas. And every year, 8 million people enter an early grave. But the real
That was the World Health Organization's video on the whole tobacco industry and how it's actually targeting children these days, and how the children are being affected by the ill effects of tobacco. Last week we spoke to a specialist who is a de-addiction specialist, Dr. Roshan Jain, and he gave us very good tips on how someone can quit the habit. But it's not so easy as as it's projected, and it takes the toll on the individual. A lot of times it's so difficult for them to give up the habit that they jump right back in, and then the feel good factor is always there. Today, we have on the show with us someone who's actually been able to kick the habit. I'm sure there are many others out there who have been there and done that, who are telling the story to many others, who are letting people know that they have given up the habit. And today I want to feature one such person on our show, and his name is Naren, and he has been very, very kind enough to, he's willing to talk to us about a few things. And today I'm going to be bringing him on the show first. I'm waiting for Naren to join in.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Naren.
Hello, Doc. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? You've got a nice, beautiful smile now, huh?
Thanks to you, Doc.
Fantastic. Naren, please tell a little bit about yourself.
So today is the world,
What do you do?
and so I manufacture incense sticks. I have a factory
Okay.
here in Chamrajpet, Bangalore. I
Okay.
lived in Bangalore all my life,
Okay.
and I was introduced to Dr. Niranjan a year ago when I dropped into his clinic to get a filling, and he looked at my teeth and he said, "I need a lot of fillings." And we sat down and we had a chat, and I kicked the habit 10 months ago. And
Okay.
today,
That's
doctor
wonderful.
invited me to share my story with all of y'all.
Wonderful. Naren, please tell us, if I may ask you, and firstly, congratulations on coming on the show and sharing your story. It's not so easy for everybody to do this, and I think you're a very brave man. And I would like to, what do you say? Take a bow. This is not something that everybody would come out and say, I used to smoke, now I've given it up. And this is a very positive note for all those people out there who are trying to, but who are unable to kick the habit. But firstly, how did you get introduced to this? Was it college? Was it peer pressure, or was it just you just wanted to try it out? And then how did it happen?
So I picked up my first cigarette when I was 16 years old. This is
Okay.
right after my board exams. I was hanging out with a couple of my seniors from college, and they gave me a cigarette and they introduced me to the habit. And for the first 6 months or so, it was an occasion, but later I got hooked onto the habit. It was for good, and so and it's been what 13 years since I finally quit the habit. Last year I made up my mind that I'm going to kick the habit, and I used a few strategies which I followed, and it helped.
Wonderful. For 13 years, you used to smoke, and now you've given it up. How does it feel? What changes do you feel in yourself?
It feels good, doctor. I mean, I feel fresh. I can breathe more deeply, and I'm using this energy to exercise more. So I've taken up running recently, uh, trying to
Okay,
replace a negative habit with a positive habit, and life feels
very
fuller right now. Mm,
fantastic.
excited.
Can you please share a few strategies that you used to quit this habit?
Yes, doctor. So I recognized what were the urges I had when I used to pick up a cigarette. So initially, when I started smoking, when I used to be a smoker, the reason I picked up the habit was to socialize with people. So
Okay,
that became a trigger. Every time I needed to socialize with someone, I used to pick up a cigarette. So I found ways how to not pick up a cigarette when I used to socialize. So I actually found it easier to connect to people without a cigarette. Then another thing was after college, once I moved on to my professional life, I used a cigarette for stress reasons because I was stressed. Always went to a cigarette.
okay,
But now what I'm trying to do is I replaced my cigarette with a cup of tea. So
Can you come again on that?
and
I'm sorry, there's some technical.
yes, I'll come again on that. So after college, once I went to my professional life, uh, I picked up a cigarette for stress.
Okay.
So I needed a way to replace the cigarette with something else. So start drinking tea, a lot of tea. So every time I drink tea, I used to really be mindful about the flavors of the tea. So that helped. So these small strategies, and then I had an acronym called NOPE, NOPE. It said
Okay.
not one puff ever.
Wow. Wonderful.
So what
Wonderful.
happens is
Fantastic.
these like so what happens is these smokers will say one puff. I'm not going to do it from tomorrow. This is my last cigarette. One will not do
True.
any harm.
True.
but actually it's that one cigarette which will get you addicted and you will never quit. So,
You're absolutely right. I've always wondered what is that, occasional puff that people take, occasional social. When I socialize, I smoke. People say that, but I feel it is just a way to reconnect with that habit, and it never goes out of your system. Your nicotine stays in your body, and then you always
right.
crave to smoke. I heard someone say that once a smoker, always a smoker. It's always in the back of your mind that you want to go back to it. So when you decide to quit is when you actually give it up completely, and your brain tries to reconnect with things and replace nicotine with other things.
Absolutely right, doctor. So one of the main things that happens when you quit smoking is you need to make your mind stronger, because the physical addiction is will last only for 3 to 4 days. The nicotine is out of your
True,
body in 3 to 4 days. After it, it's just your mind and your
true,
behavioral instincts. So if you make up your mind, anything is possible.
true, true.
And
So I
even
like
when I
this
thought it
point
was
which
hard,
you.
yes,
Sorry,
yes,
carry on, carry on.
even when I thought it is hard, like there was one point of time which I thought I would not be able to quit smoking. But then I also reminded myself of other bad times I had in life. Like for example, I lost a loved one, but I knew
Oh,
it was
I'm so
hard,
sorry.
and right, but I knew it was hard, but still I overcome that phase. This is going to be hard as well, for the few days or a few weeks. But then that moment, I knew I will overcome this as well.
Take a bow. Fantastic, fantastic. This is really wonderful. The way you've, the strategy that you have used, the way you've, helped yourself come over this. This is very good news for people who are out there who are trying to quit the habit. And what role does peer pressure play? Because you said you were 16 when you started this. You're just out of school, maybe just joining college, and then you see your seniors, your friends into the habit. And do you think you smoking, big, what do you say, ensures a place in their groups? Is it something like that? Sometimes it
Def,
happens.
Definitely, I think a media is to be blamed for this because they always portray smoking as something cool.
Macho.
So yes, macho, yeah. So when the other cool kids are doing it, you want to do it so to just fit in. Um, it happens
That's
to a lot of people. Yes.
true. And that is why I think the World No Tobacco Day this time is starting to focus on youngsters and children. In fact, I read a statistics which was startling, which said, that nearly 6 lakhs Indian children between 10 and 14 smoke, and that's a huge number of children who are addicted to it every day, boys and girls. And today we have a good number of men and women socializing and smoking, and it's become a big cycle. In your life
Absolutely.
you said you lost somebody, and that was also a stress factor, despite which you have been able to keep away from smoking. What is your advice to youngsters out there who smoke and those who are planning to quit smoking? What is your advice? You're the right person. You at one point told me, doctor, I don't know if I'm qualified to speak on this. I think you're the most qualified person today. For all of them out there, they would love to listen to you. Please tell us.
Yes. So my advice to the young smokers out there is you have two choices to either continue smoking or not to smoke. Uh, if you continue smoking, you're getting the pleasure right now at the moment, but what you're sacrificing is your health in the long term. Uh, so this decision is yours. I've made mine. So I left it to you, and I hope you choose the non-smoking way.
That's wonderful. Uh, Another question I had: have you ever tried replacing your regular cigarettes or smoking habits with something as an alternative? They were suggesting at one point e-cigarettes or vaping is good. You could try that.
Right,
Did you ever
right.
do that? Did you ever try that?
Yes, doctor. I tried nicotine gums initially, but
Okay,
that didn't help a lot because you're trying to replace nicotine with nicotine.
true, true.
So you're not getting rid of anything. That didn't help.
Okay.
What helped was non-nicotine gums for me. Those chewing gums helped.
Okay, okay. So what you're saying is don't try to replace nicotine with nicotine. Just go out there and
Right,
decide for yourself, make up your mind, and then say, quit. I want to quit. This is not just for your, uh, don't just keep satisfying your ego saying, oh, it just really doesn't matter. Just one puff. It matters. Every
true.
puff matters. And that's what you said.
Matters.
No,
Yes, doctor.
you said no. What was the acronym for that?
It's NOPE. Nope. Not one puff ever.
Not one puff ever. That's a fantastic tip you've given us all today. And I feel that youngsters out there must not fall prey to peer pressure. Keep your head above your shoulders and make sure that you listen to yourself. You know it is wrong. You know I mean it's something that you will get hooked onto for life. It can harm your health, and you need not do it. There are other things that you could do. You can see what Mr. Naren is saying. You could replace it with so many other good habits that you can pursue. He's been able to breathe better. He's been able to exercise better. He's feeling a lot fresher, younger, perhaps. And most importantly, what I would like to add here is it not only harms your body, it harms your mind and soul as well, right? And I see the teeth every day when we see patients. We see a lot of youngsters, adults who smoke, who've been smoking for years, and they're unable to kick the habit, and we see that they have a very poor dentition, you know to that extent that they've lost several teeth. They're unable to eat their food well. They have probably pain every day, despite which they continue to smoke. And what smoking does is it actually causes vasoconstriction in your blood vessels in your mouth. And this vasoconstriction actually makes you susceptible to periodontal diseases or gum diseases. Anaerobic bacteria thrive in your mouth and they multiply. And they constantly eat at your bone. And then at one point of time, you see that most of the smokers who've been smoking for many, many years have lost a lot of teeth. And losing teeth is not a good thing to happen. Replacing teeth for people who smoke a lot also becomes difficult. When we look at implants, for example, and there are studies which show that those who smoke, in them implants can fail miserably. And those who used to smoke, the chances of survival is so much better than those who don't. And it's similar to those who don't smoke. So it is important for everyone out there to understand the importance of giving up smoking. I would like to thank Mr. Naren for giving us some wonderful tips and being so what do you say to come forth and decide to share this with us, because I feel a lot of people who smoke are finding it very difficult to go seek help. Like last time when I was speaking to the doctor, he was saying that it's important that people go out, start talking. You're not diseased. You just have a block in your mind that you're not able to give up, and it's because of nicotine. Don't blame yourself for it. Just make up your mind, go out there and give it up. Don't avoid friends who smoke, but motivate them to quit smoking. Am I right?
Yes, doctor. Absolutely.
So it's a good advice that you could share with your friends, and I think family members, friends who are the ones who can actually help you motivate. What kind of support did you receive from your family when you were going through this process of quitting smoking?
So, so I personally took the help of my family when I went through this process. I mean, firstly, I learned that it's not a disease, but if I continue smoking, I will catch disease. It's
True, true.
it's the same. We are talking about cigarettes today, but it's the same with junk food. It's the same with other kind of drugs.
Yes,
The
true.
process remains the same, but then it's important to have a support. If it's not family, then maybe an online forum is also a great help. Every time
Okay.
you want to pick up a cigarette, you can post it there, and people will talk you out of it. Or a friend, a colleague, so anybody. It's better. It's always better to get some support instead of doing it by yourself.
True, true. That's nice. In fact, today when I just went to the shop today and I saw a cigarette packet being sold, and I just quickly took a photograph. If I can show you, there is, uh, you know, this is the thing that you see on packets these days. The advertisement is not, it's not glamorous. It's not trying to sell, but it's actually trying to tell you, if you pick this up, you could probably get this disease. And you can see a number down there, 1-800-11-2356. If you call that number, probably you will have help from experts who can help you quit smoking. There are several forums, as you said, today, uh, where people are willing to help you quit smoking, and it's important to talk to each other, like we're having this forum here, where Mr. Naren is telling us the importance, how he did it, and the importance of doing it. And this is something that all of you out there can follow. Please talk to people who smoke, help them get out of the habit, help them quit it, be of support to them, tell them it's not a disease, it's just in their mind, and be supportive when they're doing it. And don't show them a puff, and don't say, don't try to tease them. They'll always walk back into the trap. And avoid places which encourage smoking. I think if you could do that, if you do that, start doing that. Always insist on a no smoking zone. I probably that helps as well, Mr. Naren. What do you say?
Yes, doctor, definitely. Definitely. The environment you're putting yourself in is obviously a factor to counter it. You're right.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us, Naren. It was very, very informative. And I hope you spread the good word. You encourage a lot of youngsters in your family, in your friend circles, everywhere, to help with the smoking. You will be a role model for all of us.
Thank you, doctor. It's a pleasure being on your show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go. This was a wonderful session with Naren, and keeping the tradition of my talk shows, where I feature another special guest today. I will be talking to someone who has contributed a lot to during the lockdown period. If I can invite Mr. Abhishek to the program, I would like to speak to him as we are here. Where is he? Okay. There is Abhishek. Hey Abhishek, if you can just send me a request again, it'll be nice. I hope you're there. Abhishek, Yuvan Rao, are you there? So as we saw this session with Mr. Naren, as you all saw, I could understand that peer pressure can be a big game changer if you choose your peer groups correctly, and if you try and avoid groups where there's a lot of smoking that happens, and if you're unable to get past to them and get through to them to tell them to quit smoking, it's important for you to avoid it for some time. And they may be a very good friends, but it is actually going to harm you. You will land up being a passive smoker, and that can be a big problem for you. And try not to shame them. It's not right. It's important to understand that they are unable to give it up, and nicotine is the culprit. So on World No Tobacco Day, 31st of May today, let's all take a pledge to help those who smoke, help them kick the habit, and to also help youngsters from not going into the habit and preventing them from becoming a victim of this tobacco industry. As we see today on Facebook and on all those social media platforms, a lot of talk on how this is becoming a big issue among children and among school-going children, among college-going students, where smoking is being, glamorized. Even in movies, I see that, it's a macho thing. I see Rajnikant practically, puffing at every scene of earlier, and probably it's reduced these days. But there are movies which glorify smoking, and I think that should stop. There are other things to do on screen, and not just smoking. If I can ask Abhishek to, yes, Abhishek is there. I think I'm just inviting him. Shakadelics, are you there, Abhishek? Finally, after a long wait, Mr. Abhishek is coming online again. Hi, Abhishek, can you hear me? I can't see you though.
Yes.
There you are, finally.
Yeah, finally.
Welcome, welcome. Abhishek, firstly,
My
I would
voice
like
is okay?
to. Your voice is okay. I can hear you clearly,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, tell us about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Abhishek Yuvan Rao, and I've been an entrepreneur for almost like 12 years now.
Okay.
I'm a filmmaker initially, so I usually do films, like, corporate
Okay.
films or ads and all these things. And,
Wonderful.
yeah. So I also run an e-commerce startup called ArtBlotch. We sell merchandise of different artists across India.
Okay.
Yeah. And now recently I started a cafe with my wife too. That is 6 months back.
So what's the name of the cafe?
It's called Butters.
Butters. Where is it?
Yeah.
In
It's at Kumaraswamy Layout. Yeah. It's at Kumaraswamy Layout. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So Abhishek, when we were all under lockdown, all of us were seeing, the plight of migrant workers in Bangalore and in other places, and we all felt that we need to do something. We all were talking about it. We spoke about it in WhatsApp group. We blamed the government. We blamed the system. We did a lot of that armchair COVID warrior stuff. But man, you were the only one who went out there and you did something. Please tell us about the whole project.
How it happened was basically during the lockdown, I managed to get pass, that is from the local police, to open the restaurant because
Okay.
the passes, because the takeaway was allowed. So we
Okay.
got the permission, and then I think it was March 30th, if I'm not wrong. And we wanted to go to the restaurant, but then, unfortunately, we could see a lot of migrant workers who stopped my car, and they thought it's a
Okay.
food cart. They were awaiting for a lunch.
Oh,
Yeah, so this moved. I mean, this was something that even we didn't expect. Someone stopping the car, and probably they thought it's a food car, and they stopped, and they were like,
don't know
okay,
for how
cool.
long they've been hungry, right?
Yes, it's been a long time. I mean, what they told was, they've been waiting food, for almost like a half an hour, 45 minutes. Like previously, there was a person who was coming and doing food at just for a time, but unfortunately, he didn't come, and they were waiting for like 45 minutes. Since nothing was there especially during the lockdown one, everything was shut, and it was new to everyone. So these guys were just sitting on the main road near Harinagar, and they're just waiting for some car to come so that they think it's a food car, and then we stopped, and then we just spoke about maybe like 5 minutes, and then when we went to the cafe, we thought, okay, fine, it's good that we can probably do something else than what we are doing, So I think the first, I think the March 31st or April 1st, if I'm not wrong, we gave around 20 food packets to these guys, and we continue to give them on an everyday basis. And that 20 food packets became 500 at the end of 30th day. So that's how we started. Yeah. So
wonderful.
By giving,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's superb. Awesome. So you nearly handed out 500 packets in a day.
Yes. Later, I mean,
Wow.
it started by 20, and then it went on to 50, it went on to 100, and it went on to 145, 150, 170. So and then also I received a lot of support from friends and family. Like I think a lot of people started giving, started cooking food. All the friends and families, they started giving chapatis, they started giving puliyogre. They used to cook in the morning. So I used to go around JP Nagar, pick it up, and then go to the restaurant, then pack it, and then we used to distribute it. So usually we collected around, I think, 100 to 150 food by a lot of friends and families itself on a daily basis.
Wow, fantastic.
And at the cafe, also at the cafe, we used to do around, I think the last count was around 500. But then, it started from 20 food packets. By the time that it went, it was around 500 per day. So I think overall, we reached around 10,000 plus food packets.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super.
And so once the lockdown was lifted, so what we do now is basically we give rations to migrant workers. So since I was featured in a couple of websites, so my number is online. So all these migrant workers, somehow they get connected with me. I think there was one instance where a guy from Bombay, he wanted to help his village folks who is stuck near Anekal. So he called me and he was like, there is a certain amount of group of people who are stuck there from a very long time, and it's unable. Even the government or BBMP is not doing that. They're not being getting enough things, and there's no work. So these type of SOS calls on a daily basis, so that me and my team can go there and give the stuff there. So we started giving rations. And we continue to do. I continue to attend an SOS call. Today I got a call from Elanka. It's basically a small, a small community of iron making people. I mean, they make iron for living. And since it's a lockdown and not much of a business, I got a call and she was pleading, probably certain amount of rations can be arranged because none of them are helping them, because these guys doesn't have a ration card where where government gives certain amount of things for people who have ration cards. But all these migrant workers, especially from North Karnataka or North India, they wouldn't have carried their ration card here. They would have left there. And they would have come here to work. And every year they usually go there once and then they come back again, for money. So all these people are stuck. I mean, from the last 45 days, all these people are stuck. Like, they don't know what to do, and they're purely depending on the people who give ration or people who give food packets and all these things,
Yes. True. So you have nearly fed 10,000 people, if I'm not wrong, in the past 2 months, and that's quite a big achievement, Abhishek. But it must have also costed you a lot. What did you do for funds, and how were you able to pull? It is almost like crowdsourcing that you've done. Please tell us a little bit about that.
Initially, we started from one of my company called Artblot. So they funded initially the initiative. But then again.
So what do you do in Artblot? You design, if I'm not wrong, you design T-shirts, right, at Artblot?
Yes. What we do is we don't do designs. We tie up with different independent artists across India. So they give me designs and we print into different merchandise. So Artblot is a brand. It's an e-commerce brand. Where you can find the cool, quirky, alternative designs. Yeah. So initially, Artblot, funded the entire campaign. So we started doing, a small amount of food packets. I think by the time when we reached around 200 to 300 per day, a lot of friends and family started supporting the cause. And with this, we could, not only food, but also we could give rations to people. So that was a target, because food is just about one or two sessions, but rations is something that, we could reach more people. Like, for example, say I had I served around 7 hotspots around Kanakpura Road. So it started with 2 hotspots, but then I started giving rations to them, and these guys could cope up for a week with the ration, so that I could find another hotspot, and then we started serving there. And it similarly, once I got the rations, I used to give it to them, and they could cook for a week, and then I used to ship my place to other place. I used to give food. So that way, we reached a lot of people, and today also, I mean, in case if they're finding any difficulties, they have my number with me. So they usually call
What
me
is your
for
number?
certain amount of
Please put
things.
out your number so that people can contact you. If any of us watching want to contact you and want to contribute, if they want to cook some food for you for your project, how do they get in touch with you? Please tell us.
I mean, they usually call me, and then they just talk about what they offer, and similarly we take, like, a lot of people start giving us rations. Like, I think there's one family from what do you call near Devegowda petrol bunk. So they started
Okay.
giving I think they gave 100 kgs of rice 2 times. That's around 200 kgs of rice. So
Okay.
a lot of people pitched in like that. People start giving
So either
vegetables,
cash or kind.
sugar. Yes.
Nice. That's wonderful. Remember, people watching the show, he's gone out there and helped these migrant workers at a time when you and I were afraid of stepping out of our houses. We were so scared uh, to go out of the gate to see the street next, a parallel street. I didn't even see my parallel street for almost 2 weeks. We were so worried. And at this time, someone like Abhishek has gone out there, and this is very brave of you, Abhishek, to take the risks to actually go around and distribute food in unknown areas to unknown people.
Yeah.
And tell us, how did you feel? You must have seen that smile on their face, the blessing with their hands. You must have seen all that. How did you feel?
Oh God, I think that was uh, that was good as well as bad, because psychologically it affects a lot. Because in terms of
Okay.
people waiting for food, I think we as individuals, we at least have food to eat,
True.
but those people waiting for food, at one side we could see the smile on their faces, but psychologically, it affects a lot. Like for me
I
or
can
for my
understand.
volunteers, it's crazy. I mean, it's a lot of trauma in itself, because food is something which is very basic.
True. True. Every time you eat from
Yeah,
your plate, you'll actually be wondering, did they eat or not? That's right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it became more personal, and it became more, they became friends. We started sharing certain amount of things. We started talking. So in that way, I mean, it's good as well as it's bad.
True, true. I think your story actually inspires a lot of us. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's what I've heard. But today, I'm actually seeing someone who's actually done it. Hats off to you, and another round of applause to your project, to the kind of work you're doing. Uh, whatever help and
Sorry.
support you
Yeah.
require, uh, whatever help and support you require, I think all of us should be able to contribute at some point of time and help you with this. And each of us should go out there and help the other during this time. And that's the only way we can become better human beings. And you have actually inspired us all to be better than ourselves today. Do you feel that you need to take your project to the next level? What else do you have in mind? Is there something that we can all do to reduce this problem? What if we have another wave of pandemic and we go back into another state of lockdown? Do you have a strategy in place, or do you have a connection or a network in place where you can help reach food to these people without them having to wait for it?
There was a network issues. I couldn't hear you all well.
Okay,
But then I think, yeah, huh.
what I mean is, what if we go into another lockdown? Do you think you have some strategy in place
Okay.
to reach food for these people despite all that?
Hmm. Sorry. Hello.
How are you planning to work? What are you planning to do next? How are you planning to help the migrant workers even during the next? What if we have another lockdown? What then?
Yes. So now, as I told you, we have. I mean, what I'm doing is I'll be attending SOS calls, and that's which is passing on from people to people. And we at the restaurant we have certain amount of rations, which is all there. At least we have around
Okay.
300, 400 kgs of rice and dal, which is there. And on a daily basis, we go and give it to these migrant workers. But what
Okay.
I can ask, I mean, what probably the help that I could ask for people is probably you could give it more rice, more ration, so that I could, reach more people.
Distribute.
That is, yeah, and distribute these things, because I think now, at this point of time, there was a point where all the migrant workers refused food, because
Okay.
there's a lot of NGOs used to do food at 5 a.m. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. These 2 hours they used to prepare food. But by the time that it
Okay.
reached the migrant workers, it was 3 p.m. And food
Oh,
used to get spoiled, and it was summer. A lot of people, the hotspots that I used to manage, they knew exactly, what time, and, we had certain amount of things which is already going on. For them it was okay. But then we started hearing these stories, where food is prepared at from 7 a.m. or something, but it's reaching p.m. They can't eat that food. It's pretty bad. I think then we realized, okay, fine. I mean, giving these rations would really help these people, because not only they could wait for, I mean, they could probably sustain that for a week, rather than waiting every. So
true.
what we do is we just give rations to these hotspots so they can survive for a week.
So giving
Especially these
ration
migrant
is a
workers.
better idea.
Yeah.
As you said, you're right. I also heard this in the news somewhere where they provided food and they turned
Yes.
out to be bad. They could not eat that food, and it was dumped everywhere, and that was a sad sight to see. So if we want to help you with your project, we give you cash, or we give you rations like rice, dal, and things like that. Maybe a session of vegetables which you can reach to these migrant workers. Do you
Yes,
think we
that would
should do
be
more
that.
than just that? It's the rainy season coming up, and a lot of them may not even have good shelters. Are you thinking of those lines as well? Is that on your mind?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? The network is, I'm not able to hear you properly. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the network is pretty bad. What I mean is,
Yeah.
this is a start, right? This is just the ration now. You're giving the rations now. You're feeding them. Have you also thought of,
Yeah.
helping them with shelter, some clothes, some blankets during the rainy season, some raincoats and things like that?
Yeah, that's something that we are planning right now. I mean, it's still in an initial stage where, we could give them clothes and blankets, and we're just identifying people. So basically, we are getting help from the local police station, where, they're identifying people who require all these things. We're getting help from them, and we're finding all these migrant workers. I mean, there are some of them from my hotspots have already gone to their place, but there are some of them who are still stuck. So again, that we need to see. So eventually, I think yes. I mean, what we want to give, clothes and bed sheets and all these things, because I think the winter is starting now, which is going to be bad.
True.
For the entire pandemic is concerned. So I think that is something that we are planning. So yeah, I mean, as of now, it's only ration. It's the very basic necessity for a human. That is food.
True.
I think my primary focus is on that right now, reaching out to as many as people. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So please tell us your phone number. I'm sure a lot of pretty girls won't call you. Don't worry. Give me your phone.
They'll call you.
So you can share your phone number here and your
Yeah.
email ID. Just say it out so that if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they
Yeah.
can then help connect with you and then do the needful. What is your phone number?
It's 9148643195. I repeat, it's 9148643195.
Okay.
Or you
So
can
that's
get in
his phone
touch with me
number.
at yeah. Or you can get in touch with me at shek@artblot.in. I repeat again, it's shek@artblot.in.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. And if anybody watching here wants to contribute, please spread the word. Abhishek is doing a wonderful job out there. He and his team from Artblot, from Butters Cafe, that's his wife running the show there. They're workers, migrant workers. When you and I were actually sitting in the comfort of a home and only talking about what the government did or did not do, guilty as charged. But when I saw what Abhishek was doing, I decided to contribute. And of course, I could only send him some money at that time. That's the least that we could do. But now I see that he requires a lot more help, lot more things to do. Help him spread the word, spread the good word, and do the good work. So if any of you would like to get in touch with him, please call him directly, and he will do the needful. Thank you very much, Abhishek. Thank you very much for your help. Another round of applause for your work. Good job. Take a bow and continue the good work.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to more youngsters joining in to contribute to the society, to do better. We can do better than this, is what they should tell themselves. Not just sit around and then talk about things that cannot be done. Rather go out there and do things that can be done, like what Abhishek has done. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining me on this show. I've been wanting to do this with you for a very, very long time. Finally, I got you. You're a very busy man.
Yeah.
Obviously. So.
Sure, man. Thank you, Niranjan. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. When
Yeah,
somebody's thanking me, I want to stop them.
Yeah. Thank you for having me in the show.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you soon, maybe with some new story, new experiences of yours and new ventures. If you have something lined up, please let us know. I'll be happy to have people listen into that. Thank you.
Surely. Bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. This was a wonderful session with two youngsters. One who kicked the habit, Naren, and one who's helping migrant workers every day. 10,000 people he's helped all these days, and that's an amazing feat. I think all of us should be able to contribute to his project or such projects which are happening around you. If you're not able to do it yourself, help someone who's doing it, who's going out there, connecting with people, reaching out to them, and I would say that's one way we can make the society better, and we're all responsible for it. And it's not enough if we just talk about it on social media and on Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups and things like that. Blame each other, blame the government for what they did or did not do. It's time for us to go out there and do our bit, and that starts with you and starts with me. And today I'm going to make myself more accountable, become more responsible for people around me, and help somebody who's in need. And I think you would also do the same. You can contact Abhishek and do the needful if you would like to contribute to his project. And keeping the theme for today, quit smoking. And I request all of you who are victims of this habit to quit smoking and take inserts from what Naren said. Take his points. Use the NOPE, not one puff ever. It's a fantastic acronym that I learned today, and I'm going to be able to tell my patients as well to quit smoking, to quit it the way Naren did it. And I think another round of applause for Naren and for Abhishek, and for all of you, for joining me on this show, to listening for nearly 50 minutes. All of you have been here and listening to this. I thank every one of you, and until next time. Next week, we're going to change the platform, going to change the time. I'm going to see you on a Friday from inside my clinic. I haven't thought of anything yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. So until next time, Bye bye, and thank you for being on the show again. Take care. Quit smoking, and help your friends, family, colleagues who smoke to quit smoking. And this is a project for every one of us. Go out there and talk to them, help them quit it. I'm going to do one project right now after I end this show, and I'm going to do it at home first. Bye bye. Hello. You wanted to be on the show?